Ah, an EQ tutorial. You've been looking on the internet for weeks now and you're almost ready to give up. You still don't know what half of these buttons do. Well, I'm glad you're here because today I'm going to teach you the complete basics of the parametric equalizer in FL Studio. At the end of this video, you will be an EQ god. No, just kidding, that would take years of practice. We have different types of EQs, but for beat making, a parametric EQ is probably the most used equalizer. This is how it looks like. Now, what you see on here are frequencies of a sound that you send through the effect. They're going from low to high. On top, you can see in what category they live, and on the bottom, you can see the exact frequency in hertz. Okay, cool, now I can read frequencies, but now what? These colorful circles are called bands. You can boost or cut specific frequencies by just grabbing one and dragging it up or down. Oh, and always make sure you're not clipping when you're boosting. For the people who don't know what clipping is when your amplifier is pushed beyond its maximum limit. You can see that by looking at the audio meter, when it goes in the red zone or 0 decibels. If it goes above that, your sound will go into overdrive. And when your signal or sound is overdriven, the amplifier creates or tries to create an output that lays beyond its capabilities. And that is when the signal starts clipping. Now you know, if you want more range, you can increase the width with this button or hold down Control and scroll. The sliders on the right are also used for boosting or cutting. If you right click on a band, you can reset it or you can change the type. For example, you can use a high pass to cut off the sub-frequencies. Mess around and experiment with these types for yourself. You can also change the order, which can be useful in situations like this. You could also change that by dragging on these dots right here. This also works for the band type, by the way. Left click on this box to mute a band or right click to solo it. But when does a beatmaker actually use an EQ? Well, we all use it for the same reasons, and that is fixing an issue or shaping a sound. With an EQ, you can look for specific bad sounding frequencies and then turn them down. I actually made a video about that, you should definitely check that out. Oh, and I almost forgot to ask you guys, please give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. Thank you. When we're changing or shaping sounds, for example changing a hip-hop snare into a lo-fi snare, one trick I can give you is cutting off the high frequencies. When you do this, you're actually making your snares sound older and lower quality, which is great for lo-fi. Another example, when we want an 808 to sound more present, you can simply find the most aggressive frequencies, which are usually somewhere in the lows. Once you've found them, you can boost them just a little bit to give it more aggression. Or another thing you can do is just boost the high frequencies and then you will also get more presence. Oh, and if you want to make your kick punch harder, you can simply take a band and sweep around for a clicky sound. Once you found it, bring it down to somewhere around 3 dB, depending on your sample. And then your kick will punch harder. Hier komen 5 treinen op een dag en 4 treinen komen als ik aan het opnemen ben. Now, if you are mixing a track with rap vocals, then you can also boost the high frequencies if you want them to sound more present. And this is something you should also really do with your 808s if you want them to sound more professional. I actually explain everything about that in this video right here, so definitely go check that out. And now I gotta go. Goodbye. Klaar!